So here we are in Melbourne for the third of Choice's Better Banking public forums, where consumers from Victoria are going to come and have their say about the banking system, what needs to change, are they getting a good deal, and what should be the priorities for the government as they start the process of reform.
All the money gone?
Welcome to the third public hearing for the Better Banking campaign. I think there is a general view amongst consumers that banks are not working in their interests in the way they should. I'm going to ask a very simple question, which is, how many of you think the banking system in Australia is working in your interests at the moment? Hands up. Great, we've got one person. How many of you think that it's not working in the interests of consumers? Okay, well that's good. So we've got some exercise going as well.
I'm quite unhappy with banks because you never know what you buy when you make a deal, when you get a credit card or whatever. They come with all the fine print and you don't know actually, you find out too late actually what you are getting.
My bank sends me updates on their terms and conditions, and they expect me to actually put in and take out the differences in the terms and conditions. So this is remove clause so-and-so and place in clause such and such. Instead of giving me a complete update with, let's say, a mark towards what the changes are.
My son, who has a disability, went into the CBA to do a simple transaction, and the staff person was under instructions to do her best to sell him 2 products. He's relatively naive, well, he was at that stage relatively naive, quite young. He didn't really understand any of it, but they managed to convince him to buy 2 products, which, as far as I'm concerned, he didn't need.
And I had a placard. On one side it said, "Banks greed, no bloody need," and on the other side was, "Isn't 5.88 billion enough?" In other words, that's how much the Westpac made in 1 year profit.
Surely we can have bank accounts that are portable. Just like our telephone accounts are portable. I think we've got to be much more proactive, and I'm sure Choice is helping with this, and walk with our feet if we're not happy. Just if we're not happy with our phone company, we walk. There are plenty of others.
Regardless of what we might all think about banks, banks are an essential part of our local communities. They're an essential part that we couldn't actually exist without them in the modern world that we have. And so whenever we talk about banks, we're talking about improving them. We're not talking about doing away with them.
Bank workers are as equally frustrated by the system as the customers. They hate the way the banking system in this country is run. They want to provide you all with fantastic customer service. They don't want to sell people products that they don't need. They don't want to try and push debt products and credit cards and insurance onto you.
From Choice's research, we've found a major reason people who've considered switching actually don't is because of the paperwork.
So for me, I think the key is when you're switching to move first, close second, and realise that somewhere like Bendigo is more about relationships, and somewhere like a major is all about a business transaction whereby they can generate the highest return for shareholders.
The general concept of trying to improve competition between banks is good, but some of the other stuff to me looks a bit like fairly pointless window dressing, but just a populist move.
What are your views on how the government's doing so far?
No good. No guts in them. In the old days, they would have regulated the banks and pulled them in the gear. No government is gaming up now to tackle the banks. They think about the next election all the time.
If there's anyone who wants to give a single message to the politicians, what's the one thing that they could do to really make a difference, then I'd really like to hear from you.
The 4 major banks, they need to really listen to the Australian people.
I would like the politicians to do everything they possibly can, be it legislation, be it creating utilities, facilities, whatever, to make switching as easy as possible.
To help steer the banking industry back to real relationships by continuing to support the mutuals and the non-banks in real terms with funding sources.
All the money gone?
Loyalty is a word banks don't know.